New generation anime. Bunch of mid stuff that will never surpass their predecessors. Nah, I'm kidding, new gens are amazing, but not all of them. So today, I will rank them based on how good they are. It's just a tier list video, why am I even trying to explain? Anyway, let's start with the most basic one, MHA. You guys remember when season 2 and 3 were airing? Everyone was talking about it. Deku vs Todoroki, All Might vs All for One, and all that, like, the hype was insane. And now what? The only thing that comes up during a conversation about it is the color of the sky. I mean, to me, My Hero kinda wasted its own potential over time. The best thing about this anime was the social aspect of it. How quirks affect society, how they change working conditions or create inequality. Characters like Endeavor, Mirio and Twice, which are some of the best characters in the series, are the products of that. And this takes us to my biggest complaint with My Hero. The school arcs. Horikoshi, my man. I don't know who makes you write these mid-ass school cheese, but like every time the League of Villains pull up and the story starts to get interesting, we go back to UA for some random battle between two classes. And I'm sorry to say this, but I don't care about any of these characters. I'm not even saying Horikoshi is bad at character writing. We have some solid characters like Endeavor, Shigaraki, Twice, but none of the characters in Class 1A compared to them in quality. Because those characters I just mentioned work really well with the social structure of the MHA world. Every one of these stories are a result of the unjust world they live in, but somehow our main character has the most boring one. Let's not even get into Deku having multiple quirks and shit. After all that slander though, My Hero is still a decent shonen with hype moments and great artwork. It might even be my favorite in the current shonen jump in terms of art. It's just not consistent enough for me to really care about it. Yeah, I'ma say B tier. Next, Black Clover. Yo, if I put this above MHA, the fandom's gonna hunt me down, on God. Black Clover is good. It's the most default shonen you can ever find. I wouldn't say it does anything amazing other than the pacing, cause like Black Clover flies by so fast and it doesn't even take time in between arcs. Like I said though, other than the pacing, Black Clover as a story doesn't have anything impressive or unique. It follows the same old shonen formula and tropes and it handles them pretty well. For now I think it's just a little bit better than My Hero. My Hero for sure has the better villain cast, but I enjoy Black Clover's main group dynamic way more. The Black Bulls are actually fun to be around, unlike Class 1A. Also, I find Black Clover a lot more consistent. By the way, we're talking about the manga here. The anime for Black Clover stinks. It's so bad. So yeah, both My Hero and Black Clover are slightly above average B tiers for me. What do we have next? Now we're talking some real shit. Blue Lock. I think we got our first A tier. Man, I love Blue Lock so much. I even made a video about it. I'm gonna go based on manga for this too. I mean, the anime is fine, but the manga is so raw. What I love the most about Blue Lock is that how it takes itself so seriously while having the most outrageous dialogue ever. Like, this manga, man, disrespect after disrespect, flex after flex. Blue Lock gives every single character their own I'm him moment. Plus the different approach to football and how it kind of forcefully makes the reader come to terms with its over-the-top ideology make it such a refreshing read. But of course, it has its flaws. The matches can sometimes be a little repetitive, and like I said before, the dialogue can be a little corny. But I don't think it takes away that much from the experience. So yeah, Blue Lock is insanely hype and entertaining. And it deserves the A tier because it has something very unique unlike these two. Also, I hear many people saying Blue Lock clears Haikyuu and shit. Bro, Haikyuu obliterates this whole list, okay? If I had Haikyuu on here, it would be the Gojo of this list. That's why it's not included here. I sealed it away cause it was too OP. Next we have Hell's Paradise. Mappa. Bro, why? Why would you do this to me? To us, Hell's Paradise fans. I thought you was a W studio, man. Whatever, we'll just go with the manga. Let me start with a hot take. Gabimaru is easily the best new gen battle shonen MC. It's not even close. His journey had one of the most satisfying endings in recent shonen. Also, Hell's Paradise as a story benefits so much from its relatively small cast. Almost every single person had their own character arcs, despite the story being only 120 chapters. My biggest complaint about the story is definitely the antagonists. They kinda served as these overpowered embodiments of nature. As a concept, I really liked it, but almost none of them got any characterization. Overall, Hell's Paradise is a very condensed story with an amazing protagonist and character work. Unlike many of the stories here, it has an ending. A well-received one at that. I'ma put it at A tier. Anyway, let's move on to Dr. Stone. To be honest, this one's a hard one for me. Dr. Stone is
All about how great science is.
It is a love letter for humanity and our desire to improve, make the world a better place. It has an inspiring message. However, the execution matters as much as the message of a story. And Dr. Stone, while always being above average, it still hasn't come up with a moment that will be carved into my memory for years. Even though it's very consistent, it didn't have the same emotional impact that the others in A tier had on me. Yeah, I really like Dr. Stone and I'm sure it'll get better as the story continues. For now, I say it belongs at the top of B tier or like the lowest of A. But I'ma let it cook, okay? I'ma let Dr. Stone cook for a while. Spy Family or Spy X Family. This shit was everywhere last year, man. Anya was all over my phone. Like, I don't remember a single day I didn't see Anya on Twitter. Everyone was hopping on the hype train, and of course many people got bored of it very quickly. And that's totally understandable. I mean, I'm not the biggest slice of life fan either, so Spy Family to me was nothing more than a turn off your brain and enjoy type of show. The main three characters were all dope, and their dynamic as a family was fun to watch, but that was it. As an anime only, I'd say C tier. Next up, Demon Slayer. I'ma say this first. The anime is so much better than the manga. Demon Slayer manga is a 5 out of 10 at max. It doesn't have anything unique. The ending was ass, almost all the characters are one-dimensional and boring, and the art is also pretty mid. The manga would be C tier, and that means we're gonna do this based on the anime, which is pretty damn good. Demon Slayer anime benefits so much from its simplicity. Yes, the cast is not the best. Yes, the story falls flat compared to other shonens. And yes, the animation carries. Does that make Demon Slayer a bad anime though? The answer is obviously no. It's not just the animation that carries the show. The music, the sound design, the directing, the whole production. Ufotable took a mid-story and they made that shit into something that outsold One Piece. Like, how often in anime do we get to experience scenes like this, or this, or this? I'd say it's better than MHA and Black Clover, but worse than Dr. Stone. Yo, this right here. This piece of art, I believe, is the only thing that can manage to be on Boruto tier without being Boruto. Not everyone can understand Rent-A-Girlfriend. I have been reading this manga for 4 years now, and my brain still cannot comprehend how deep and philosophical this manga is. I am not qualified enough to read Rent-A-Girlfriend. Straight up. Next we have, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have our first S tier. Jujutsu Kaisen, in my opinion, is the best new gen battle shonen, and I'm not even caught up to it yet. I just started reading the Calling Game arc. Not gonna lie, I don't remember being this interested in a power system since I watched Hunter x Hunter. Cursed energy can be a little confusing sometimes, but I'm a sucker for complex power systems, and Akutami is a writer that gets really creative with his fights. Other than the fights, JJK also has such a good cast. I'm not only talking about Gojo and Sukuna, Geto, Todo, Fushiguro, Toji, Maki, and the list goes on. All these characters have distinct personalities and great moments throughout the series. JJK has everything I want in a battle manga. Great fights, high stakes, lot of violence, and a solid cast. It also explores philosophical topics like how one should die or how one should live. It still has its minor flaws, like the pacing sometimes goes from light speed to tens of pages of info dumps. Nevertheless, I can talk about Jujutsu Kaisen for hours, and I'm planning to make a video about it later. Easy S tier. Next up, we have Tokyo Revengers. This shit fell off so hard. I was never a big fan of Tokyo Revengers, but I liked it enough to read the manga after the first season of the anime. Hell, that was a mistake. This Mickey Mouse ass manga got one of the worst endings I've ever seen. Kisaki's part was pretty bad too, but this shit was unbearable for the last 50 chapters or so. D tier. By the way, this video is getting really long, so I'ma speedrun some rom-coms real quick. Quintessential quintuplets. Rushed ending and some of the girls were underdeveloped. Well, at least the best girl won. C tier. Blue Box. Got really wholesome with the recent chapters, but I couldn't care less about the sports aspect. I'm expecting it to get better though. C tier for now. Fragrant Flower blooms with dignity. This is literally wholesomeness the manga. All the characters are chats who know how to communicate, and that's really rare for romance manga characters. B tier. Kaguya Sama Love is War. Literally the best romance anime after Fruits Basket. Blends comedy and romance perfectly. The main cast is one of my favorite groups in anime. Not the biggest fan of the ending though. Still, I had a great time with it. It's a must watch. S tier. Next up we have Chainsaw Man. This one's Weird. Fujimoto has such a distinct style of storytelling. You don't know what the fuck is going on, but you still keep reading it. And that's basically CSM in a nutshell. Especially the last arc of part 1. When I first read that shit, I was like, what the hell did I just witness? And you know what happened the second time I read it? Nothing changed. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, if I want to reread or rewatch something, that means I really like that thing. The reason why Chainsaw Man is such a great manga is because there's nothing like it. It's such a degenerate story, but it's also insanely creative in many aspects. The ranking might change depending on part 2. For now, it's a solid A tier. Let's move on to Fire Force. Watched the first season and then I watched like the first 6 episodes of season 2. Not gonna lie, mid show. Visually it's great, the sound effects are insane, but I just couldn't get into it. The story, the characters, I don't know, man. Fire Force kind of felt like it was AI generated. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Fire Force, but I can't put it above C tier. Next up we have Oshinoko. Shouldn't even be a question. Easiest decision of my life. S tier. This show is a goldmine for anyone who is interested in the entertainment industry. Idols, actors, YouTubers, VTubers, it doesn't matter. It's a deep dive into the entertainment industry with the addition of incredibly well-written characters, a captivating story that won't hesitate to show you how messed up things can get, great artwork and character design, and many spine-chilling moments. It is one of my favorite manga, and the anime adaptation made it even better. Every episode so far had me screaming like, the anime looks gorgeous. This man Akasaka knows how to cook for real. Yo, what's up with this final lineup, bro? These are all S tier. Mob Psycho 100 is wonderful. It is one of the best self-acceptance stories I've ever seen. It's goofy, it's colorful, it's heartwarming, and it's also one of the best looking anime I've ever laid my eyes on. Mob and Reigen will forever be an iconic duo for me. Other than that, not much to say about this one. I genuinely think it's a great show. And as the last one, we have Frieren Beyond Journey's End. I'ma be real with y'all. Frieren was a magical experience for me. Without a doubt, I can say it is my favorite new gen and one of my favorite manga of all time. It's sad that not many people know about this, and I know that's partially because it doesn't have an adaptation yet. Like, when I look at this list, almost all of these titles have an anime. The good news is, Studio Madhouse will work on the anime for Frieren. I will be there no matter what. Frieren Beyond Journey's End is the story of an elf which already completed her journey. Even though her journey is over, she herself isn't completed as a person, and that leads her to another journey with different people but the same route as the first one. That's the story with no spoilers. The thing that separates this from your usual fantasy anime is that it focuses on time as a concept. How we perceive it, how other creatures in that world perceive it. How should we spend it, or should we just waste it without giving it a second thought? Our main character Frieren is immortal, so she sees time very differently from everyone else. And this is her story of learning how to appreciate every single thing that happened and will happen during her lifespan. On the top of that, it has great world building and dialogue too. I will be making a video about it when the anime drops. S tier at the top of the list. Also, I forgot to add Food Wars, so here's a bonus beat here. There we go. This is the only official objective ranking of new gen anime you'll ever find on the internet.